Back to the action, and it's Junior X30 that takes to the circuit here at Rowrah for the fourth round of Little Green Man. Canardo Lee and Harry Burgoyne from Connor Duncan and Bart Harrison. Jessica Edgar and Matthew Hyde from Brandon Carr and Sam Shaw. Vinnie Phillips and Harvey Ryby rounding out the top 10 from Rippin, Luzio, Stewart, Webb, Stevens, Templeton et al. Lots of great talent in Junior X30 in 2021. The big battle to the first chicane is going to be between the teammates Canardo Lee and Harry Junior Burgoyne. For Strawberry Racing, who's going to get there first? Let's find out. To the first corner, Burgoyne tries to squeeze his teammate, runs wide into the run for the corner. Harvey Ryby has to overshoot the chicane as the field works its way. I think Duncan has actually got himself in a second place behind the race leader. Oh, and the two teammates have gone around. Matthew Hyde and Sam Shaw. And there's four more in there. Ella Stevens, Jay Holtby, Jack Cox, and Freddie Allen. Now, I don't think that was the teammates hitting each other that started that. I think they got a little love tap from behind. I think it might have been Charlie Rippin who was behind them. I want to see this again, so we'll bring up a replay and have another look at it, but you can see at least 7 drivers' races absolutely destroyed already.
Yeah, all impacted, and I don't think it was deliberate. There is a nudge here, there's no doubt about it.
Now look,
Charlie Rippin.
There's Vinnie Phillips in the 287. Rippin is coming in behind. He changes direction, look, goes to the left and just nudges the back of Shaw, and that's what starts the chain reaction.
What we can't see is whether he was impacted from behind, of course. He changed direction and then was faced with carts slowing and braking quickly in front of him.
Yep.
And he's probably hit the brakes maybe half a metre too late. Not deliberate by Charlie, obviously. You don't want to do that yourself, so that's impacted his race and a lot of others.
Oh, there's the move for second position from Harry Burgoyne. So Burgoyne gets through in a second past Connor Duncan. Charlie Rippin is still going, bless him, in 8th position. So he's still fighting. You've got to. That's the thing. If you get into an incident like that, you've just got to keep racing. You've got to keep pushing.
Yeah, you can't worry too much about what the decisions the officials will make, whether they've seen it or they haven't seen it, whether you've got a front fairing or you haven't. You just have to get on with it. As I say, not a deliberate action. You wouldn't deliberately do that.
No, indeed.
As Oliver Stewart, the championship leader, sets the fastest lap. You wouldn't do that deliberately at that point in the race, and particularly with the front fairing penalties.
It would be very easy as well to do the whole, name and blame game thing for the officials. We've got to see to be penalised somebody, but it is racing. These incidents do happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, those that have been impacted don't necessarily think that.
Bart Harrison on the inside, 3rd position. Nice move on Connor Duncan. Jessica Edgar tried to find the way through on the inside line there as well, and it didn't quite work out. So a difficult battle there for Jess Edgar. She's boxed in, and now teammate Brandon Carr is trying to make a way through on the inside. Now here comes Edgar on the inside, gets the move. Brandon Carr's going to get through as well. If Jess Edgar isn't careful, she's actually going to leave the door open for a teammate to get by too. Oliver Stewart is there behind Charlie Rippin now in 9th position, sets the fastest lap. 2 consecutive laps in a row then, so very interesting to see what kind of speed he's still got underneath him. Lee, Burgoyne, Harrison, Edgar and Carr battling their way through. Oh, and Charlie Rippin's collected with Vinnie Phillips. Oh dear, it's gone from bad to worse for Rippin. He gets going again, and I'm afraid it looks as though Phillips is done for the day. He's stuck in the gravel at Iredale's.
Yeah, I suspect that's going to be a minimum of a warning flag, if not a black flag. But we'll see again. The officials have to see it, the marshals, they have to see it, and they have to be sure how it was caused. Let's have another look at it though.
Because it's a very interesting incident. Oh, look, he's just, I'm afraid he's just come from a bit too far back to make that move.
Ambitious, I'll call that. Ambitious.
Well, the thing is, you learn by your mistakes, don't you? And that's a difficult one, really. And unfortunately for Charlie Rippin, he's made the move, it hasn't worked, and he's just going to have to learn from it. There is the battle for second. Harrison initially got into second place, but Burgoyne got him straight back again on the exit. He is not losing second place in this race if he can help it, especially knowing his teammate Canardo Lee, the young man from Japan. Everyone calls him Bruce in the paddock, of course. Good old Canardo Lee. But this is a tough one, because if Burgoyne knows he can't catch his teammate, then second is as good as he's going to get.
I think the second is as good as he's going to get, as we get another overtake for second.
That's Harrison then making the move stick this time. Brandon Carr is right there behind Burgoyne in 4th position. He wants a podium, so he wants to try and fight his way into position now.
Brandon Carr with the fastest lap, Jake.
Yes, he did. Yeah, good point. 47.4 as well, so he's got good pace early doors. Watch out for Brandon Carr making the bid to get into the top 3 when he gets an opportunity. Burgoyne just settling himself in. The crest of the wave that Harry Burgoyne is on at the moment is pretty amazing when you consider that He's only still one of the newbies, really, in juniors. He got his chance at the World Championships as a thank you, basically, from Oliver Rowland, who set him up in the World Championships at Portimao last year, and he came away with a podium on his debut in Europe, which just shows you how impressive Harry Burgoyne Jr. is.
Yeah, incredible. He's not, can I just say, he's not catching the race leader today, though.
No,
Look
indeed.
at that lead.
Yeah,
Nobody's catching Kanato Lee.
Well, he's another one who's had a bit of a good start in Europe, and that's really built his confidence. Kanato Lee, once you do a good job there, you can bring it back to the British season. Oh, Brandon Carr trying to make his way through. A little bit of a rodeo run, and here comes Oliver Stewart trying to get through. Carr shuts the door in time. Bit of a gap left open as Connor Duncan and Jessica Edgar trying to slice through. Stewart's there, Duncan's there, Edgar's there. Floodgates open.
Absolutely. That was a slight mistake, to say the least. Running wide out of the turn, gave the inside line to the driver behind, and the other two behind them followed him through.
I love the Little Green Man series because you just get so much quality. It's world-class drivers with the club atmosphere. You've got to love the banter on circuit. These guys are more prepared to go for these overtaking moves. They're more prepared to try it because what's the worst that can happen? You can just throw it in there. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, you try again. It's wonderful to watch.
Or you could end up in a turn one pile-up with 7 drivers involved, Jake.
Oh, yeah, good point. That was only about 4 or 5 minutes ago, wasn't it? Fair enough. Yes, good point. Well made. Here's Jessica Edgar, charging down the back straight, trying to take on Connor Duncan. Braking zone, gap left open. That'll do nicely. Textbook from Jessica Edgar. Still a fabulous junior racer. She did a fantastic job when she got into this class a couple of seasons ago. And now she is one of the senior junior drivers, as it were, trying to coin a phrase, and doing a fantastic job. Connor Duncan on the inside, though. Brandon Carr's got a gap as well. But there's no love lost between teammates. Edgar squeezing Brandon Carr. Look, I don't care you're in the same morning as me. You're not having the place. It's as simple as that.
Great racing throughout the field again. Kanato Lee out front, but like we had in Mini X30 Junior, so not much of a chance of a battle for the win, but great battles through the field.
Oh, look at that lunge from Jessica Edgar. See, that's what Charlie Rippin was trying to do earlier in the race. Edgar made it work, but she has left herself vulnerable on the exit. Carr and Duncan straight back through.
Exactly. Once one gets down the inside, the other one lines up behind. It's difficult to get them back, basically, not to lose 2 places.
But you know what? Fair play to Jessica Edgar. That was elbows out and chancing it. Lovely stuff. Duncan now on the inside of Carr. The gap's still there for Edgar.
Now she's doing the same thing.
And Marcus Luzio's now lining up a move on Brandon Carr. That's so difficult to pull off in the first chicane, but he's made it stick. That was a lovely move from Luzio. So now he makes a bid to come through. He's been one of the top X30 drivers in Europe in juniors as well. So great to see their proving ground doing well as they return to Britain, do a fantastic job in LGM and keep pushing in the limits here. Edgar now swarming all over Connor Duncan, trying to find the gap, but Connor Duncan is throwing anchor. No one's coming by.
Oliver Stewart with the fastest lap yet again, in 4th place at the moment, but can he make the podium? Looks like he might.
Well, Connor Duncan's not going to make the podium. He's absolutely defending for his last. No, there is Stewart. He's got through. You were right. He's got past Burgoyne. We didn't see it, but he has got through into 3rd position. So excellent work from Oliver Stewart. He's now there in 3rd, in front of Burgoyne. And then we've got Duncan, Edgar, Carr, Luzio, and then the 2-4-3. I think that's Brandon Templeton now trying to move his way forward. So Kanato Lee is 2.5 seconds clear of Bart Harrison. These two are battling for 3rd. Oliver Stewart in 3rd position. Harry Burgoyne in P4. He looks behind him. Where is everybody? And the reason he's got a massive distance, wait for him, Connor Duncan. Look, he's just parking the kart in the apex. Nobody's able to get by, but he can't catch up. He clearly feels he doesn't have the pace to run with the leaders, so he's just parking the kart in every corner. And that's the move on the inside from Luzio. Can't get by on Edgar, and he doesn't want to wait around any longer than he has to. He's going for a very late lunge in the final bend. Carr gets there as well. My goodness, Marcus Luzio, the smallest gaps in history, and he somehow makes it wide enough for a kart.
Yeah, the look behind earlier as well by Burgoyne looked to me like he's sort of settled that he's not going to make 3rd. And the fact that he's looking behind him suggests to me that he's worried about what's behind. Of course, there's nothing behind him, so he can concentrate on moving forward, but it looks like it almost by looking behind like that, giving up on third place. There's another move.
That's Brandon Carr back on Luzio. Yeah, it does seem a little bit as though Burgoyne is almost resigned to his fate, doesn't it? In fourth position, he can't quite get back on terms with Oliver Stewart, but he doesn't have to panic too much about the charging pack behind because there is a decent gap further back. Luzio again on Brandon Carr. Carr gets the perfect switch back. Excellent defence, and now Jessica Edgar trying to shake off Harvey Ryby, and Ryby is right there. A good recovery actually from Harvey Ryby, considering he had to take a miss at the chicane and initially. Now Edgar is assisting Ryby to get past Brandon Carr. What a fight back from Harvey Ryby.
Yeah, and I'm assuming there was a time in recent history when you miss a chicane like that on lap 1, you would automatically get a 1-lap penalty applied. Now, we'll have to wait till the end of the race to see if that's the case, but...
Look, that's Sam Shaw! Yeah. Sam Shaw is caught up to the back of them.
That's incredible.
He was turned around facing the wrong way on the first lap, and now there he is, having made the move on Brandon Templeton. Sam Shaw's astonishingly quick.
Yeah, it's another move as well, another overtakes all over the place.
Yep, that's Carr on Edgar.
I suspect with Ryby, when he went through the chicane, it looked like to me he was looking around to slow down and drop a load of places back to maybe the back of the field, and if the officials seen him do that, they will probably say, you know what, okay, maybe a little bit of a nudge, he's missed his chicane, but he's slowed down, he's gone to the back of the field. No need to give him a 1-lap penalty, and I agree with that. You shouldn't get a 1-lap penalty if you've then given yourself the penalty by slowing down and allowing everybody past you.
Very true. Luzio on Duncan, I think that is. So, oh no, sorry, there's Duncan. Luzio is still trying to keep Harvey Ryby at bay. Two brilliant racers here. Harvey Ryby in the BMR colours, trying to make his way to come through on the inside. Brandon Carr, then Jess Edgar, and then Sam Shaw. If you were in any doubt as to the quality of Sam Shaw, I cannot believe he has fought his way up to 10th position despite facing the wrong way on the first lap. That is absolutely astonishing. And now look, they're all getting in on the act here as Ryby gets the move on Luzio. Carr gets up alongside, and here comes Edgar trying to make her way on the inside of Luzio. Luzio goes deep. They all sweep past Carr. Shaw is in there as well. Charlie Rippin side by side in there as well with a 2:43. Brandon Templeton, and it looks as though Cottrell is lining up the move in there as well. This is for the position, I think this is for P6, strangely enough, and we've got about over half a dozen drivers in the mix of it. Jess Edgar now in front of Sam Shaw, just in behind Connor Duncan. They're catching Duncan. Shaw makes the bid on the inside. What a comeback from Shaw, now leaving no room at all for Jess Edgar. They rub wheels.
Incredible.
Edgar gets back on the inside.
Absolutely astonishing battle for this position, and Sam Shaw, this has got to be the driver of the year, Joe.
Oh, Shaw back on the inside of Edgar with assistance from Carr. They run wide on the exit, and Sam Shaw is going to beat Carr to the braking zone. Edgar's going to try and sweep in on the inside, and Rippin gets them both on the exit as well. Up on the grass goes Luzio at the back of that train now, as Cottrell and Templeton have both worked their way past him. In the braking zone, Rippin trying to hang tough in front of Carr and Edgar. This is amazing, and this is for B6.
Wow.
Luzio now on the inside of Cottrell. They just keep on coming, these moves.
Oh, this is absolutely amazing. Amazing racing. How close do you like your racing? Well, karting, nothing delivers four-wheel motorsport like karting.
Yep, classic English karting on a classic British track. Cumbria always delivers at Lakeland Stadium. Now we've got Stewart having caught up to Bart Harrison for P2, and Oliver Stewart is going to get a beautiful manoeuvre switchback done. Look at that. Lined him up in Iredale's, let Bart Harrison defend, got him back on the switch. Perfect timing because he's into second place on the last lap. Now he goes defensive. Kanato Lee's not going to lose this one, no. The young Japanese driver out of the final turn, and it's victorious for Kanato Lee. 2 fingers in the air. Excellent. Stewart just beats Harrison to second place. 4th for Burgoyne, and there's still more drama. Templeton goes grass tracking on the final lap as well. What an absolutely monstrous battle in the closing stages. That race had absolutely everything you can expect from a decent Junior X30. Oh, Dane Tucker and Reese Newburn. Goodness me, and he's just going to lose the place, Dane Tucker, to Sienna Gordon. Talk about the last lap hero. Sienna Gordon picking up a couple of places just by staying hungry right to the bitter end. Drama all the way to the flag. My goodness, LGM delivers again. Kanato Lee in front of Bart Harrison, a whole host of penalties. Oliver Stewart, Sam Shaw, Marcus Luzio, Holtby, Cox, Rippin, Carr, Templeton, Ryby, all getting front fairings. So it means that Harrison is second ahead of Burgoyne and Duncan. Oliver Stewart down to fifth. Jess Edgar in sixth ahead of Cottrell, Ryby, Rippin, and Sam Shaw still makes it back to P10.
So how was the race? A bit of a lonely one, I think.
Yeah, it was a lonely one. I was able to get a good gap at the start, and just was managed to able to keep it to the end. And yeah, I'm really happy to win my first LGM, and yeah, really happy.
Yeah, no, it was very good. Just what was it? A matter of just controlling the pace from where you were?
Yeah, we had good pace all weekend, so I think I just was concentrating and relaxed and just focused, and was able to win the race.
Very well done. And third place for you today. Did you enjoy that race?
Yeah, kind of. Would have been better if I got the win, but you can only do what you can do. So, yeah.
But good points for the series.
Yeah, good points for the series. Just need to work on that for the rest of the meetings now. So.
The race winner there, Kanato Lee, does not feature in the top three in the championship at the moment. That's headed by Oliver Stewart, racing the 222 kart. He's on 377 points. He would have a few more, of course, but for that nose-fairing penalty in the final there. Brandon Carr is 14 points back on 363 with Harry Burgoyne on 361. Don't go away, because in part three, we've got a race for the ages for you. You won't want to miss it. It's an absolute classic.